These are your top stories tonight on Volt News Network. A federal appeals court upheld a ruling requiring Texas Governor Greg Abbott to relocate over 1,000 feet of floating barriers he had installed in the Rio Grande near Eagle Pass. Abbott had announced the buoy barrier in June as part of efforts to curb illegal crossings at the border. However, the Biden administration sued, arguing the barriers were unsafe and violated federal law by obstructing water navigation without approval. Concurrently, U.S. Customs and Border Protection announced it would temporarily close the port of entry in Lukeville, Arizona, starting on Monday, due to being overwhelmed by the surge of migrants. Lukeville has become a major crossing point in recent months as smugglers leave large groups of migrants from countries like China, India, and Senegal in the area. Both the legal case over Abbott's barriers and the temporary closure of the Lukeville port signify the ongoing challenges in securing the border, as crossings shift to different entry points depending on CBP resources and enforcement strategies. The Eagle Pass sector of Texas has also seen high illegal crossing numbers this fiscal year. The Finnish government suspects that China purposefully sabotaged an underwater pipeline in the Baltic Sea, according to a report from Politico. In October, the Baltic Connector gas pipeline between Finland and Estonia, allegedly, was ruptured along with two undersea telecommunications cables by a Chinese vessel dragging its anchor across the seafloor. Finland's Minister of European Affairs said it would be hard to believe the anchor was dragged for hundreds of kilometers by accident. Both Finland and Estonia are conducting an investigation, but want to inspect the Chinese vessel, which was quickly returned to a Chinese port. Defense officials from both countries believe those on board must have known they damaged something. The ransom underscores concerns about protecting major underwater infrastructure, as the Nord Stream pipelines between Russia and Germany were also damaged in explosions last year. China has not commented on the allegations, but the incident further strains geopolitical tensions if proven to be deliberate sabotage by Beijing. 5 Republican senators, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Rick Scott, Tommy Tuberville, and Mike Braun, have written a letter to President Biden calling for an immediate restriction on travel between the U.S. and China. This comes in response to a spike in unknown respiratory illnesses affecting children in northern China. While China claims it is just an increase in known childhood pneumonia, the senators cite China's history of covering up public health crises and say more information is needed. Given the lack of transparency from China during the initial COVID outbreak, the lawmakers argue a temporary travel ban could help prevent the spread of a potential new illness to America and protect public health. They note former President Trump's decision to impose an early travel restriction on China in 2020 helped curb the pandemic. The World Health Organization says it is still unclear if the illnesses in China represent an overall increase in respiratory diseases or separate events, while domestic experts claim this is a nominal event. These are your top stories tonight. This marks the first day of December, and due to a scheduling and uploading conflict, these videos may be delayed. Beginning on Thursday the 7th of December, your normally scheduled Volt News programming will resume. Thank you for your patience and good night.